Hi, my name is Dylan, and thanks for watching another Lindell video. The last video of the Pocket Infinity that I made was just me ranting about it with no real substance or real thought, so I thought I should put more in to really show how this gun could be utilized. So the Pocket Infinity. And before I begin, you may be thinking, Dylan, it's year one, what's the point? Or if you stay in year one, you won't improve. I understand the year one argument, but again, this doesn't stop you from using it. You can still have fun with the old guns, and the key word is fun. If you think people are bad for using older guns, well, this isn't the video for you. I'll never change your mind, ever, and I'm sorry. So, in this review, I'm going to be covering how this should be set up and played with, the misconceptions about the gun, and then finally how to use it to your fullest advantage. The gameplay you'll be watching is footage of 2 games using the Pocket Infinity. One pretty tough game that I had, which was 2v3 skirmish match. We won because I think I ended up with like 25 kills, and even though our opponents had map control, we won because I think I ended up, just eventually leading us to the win. And the last clip is just me having some fun with it. It's a rumble match. It was like, I think I had 20 or 23, 24 kills and 1 death. It was a fun game. So to start this review, let's talk about the weapon setup. I recommend having a combination of good weapons, a long range medium damage primary like a Mida or any pulse rifle to cover medium and long range, and a Pocket Infinity to cover you short and medium ranges. Now you're covering all 3 aspects in this sense: short, medium, and long. And within this distance, the Pocket excels in 3 things. Number 1, preparing your shot, setting up your shot, and having your sights on your shot because of how wide the reticule is. Now, with all 3 of those, landing one of the 4 shots that fire from the weapon deal about, I would say, 40 or 45, 40, 50 damage, close to mid-range. And again, most of your encounters are at this distance. I mean, this is just how the maps are designed. Most of your occurrences are just naturally going to happen at this distance. It's full auto, so 4 of them are bound to hit unless they are very, very far away. And you can see how far this weapon can hit others in this gameplay video. An important note, the kill time is, I would say, less than a second, I believe. It's always going to pull you out of some sticky situation, and if your target is flanking, pull out that quick long firing pulse rifle or scout or whatever it may be to clean up the kill, because 90% of the time you left them dangling with 10 or 15% health after you shot them with the Pocket Infinity. That's just because of how strong the gun is naturally. My next point is how you should be playing with this weapon. So I would say make sure you're playing in either Rumble or 3v3 games. This gun excels in 1-on-1 combat, and sometimes 2-on-1 if the targets are clumped up together, because each shot is a kill shot if all the coils land on your target. And in 6v6 you need to be defensive. You just need to make sure you don't rush the crowd of people, because the likelihood of you regenerating enough ammo over time to kill several targets all clamoring in on you is pretty unlikely. The gun forces you to be aware of where your target is at all times, and which is why I suggest 3v3 is great, because it's so condensed, and it's also why you need to play defensive in 6v6. Using a Night Stalker is pretty good for this. I like to run Golden Gun though, because the 4 shots, because I've grown pretty aware of where the person is at most of the time. And if you don't know what I mean by that, I guess just keep playing the game, and the placement of your enemies will become second nature to you, honestly. I can't tell you how to be good at awareness. That's just honestly something you learn because it stems from map awareness. So just play the game and you'll be more aware and where and how to aim your shot. Finally, get armor that gives you more fusion rifle ammo, because this thing runs out really quickly if you like to spam it like I do. This helps you in any game type. Next, I really want to go over misconceptions about the gun. People think it's dead, giving it the impression that it's no longer usable. I mean, if you watch the gameplay, that's a false statement. It's clearly still an active gun in the crucible. If I'm using it, there's bound to be somebody else out there using it as well. People also think that because of how low the range and stability stat are, it's nothing compared to, say, the Plan C. People think it outweighs the Pocket Infinity by a mile by base stats alone. Well, they're not wrong, but can the Plan C take down a super alone and regenerate ammo and rapidly fire fusion coils? No, it can't. Also, it doesn't really matter what the stat is, really, because every fusion rifle encounter you have will always be the same distance most of the time. To support this, no good player tries to cross-map a fusion rifle kill when they can instead land 2 or maybe 3 good primary weapon shots. Another big thing is the slow charge rate, I guess, and people don't think it's good enough because it's not quick enough. Well, if you're watching the gameplay, you can clearly see how fast it honestly takes. It takes, I would say, about a second, but you keep charging over and over until you eventually see your target. Most of the time, you're already halfway charged before your opponent even lays eyes on you. And by that time, you have, I would say, a half a second left before you fire and return ammo for another shot that could be right around the corner. It's just very helpful, I would say. You also might be thinking, how about the December ammo nerf? Because there's going to be an ammo nerf soon in December. Well, it might go down to 7 kills per entire, cartridge, I would say it is. Maybe 8 before you need to go get special ammo. Yes, but like I said, if you're, playing 3v3, ammo isn't really that hard to find since it's, very few people are on the map, which means very few people are trying to get special ammo. My final point about some of the misconceptions is a big one, which is the one that really stops people from using any fusion rifles because of the fusion nerf that was back in 2015 that nerfed all of them, especially the Vex. Well, if you don't remember, there was also a small range and stability buff nerf / I don't know, it was a nerf or a buff, I can't really tell. And it came during the Taken King after the 2.0 update. It leveled out range and stability and vice versa. The Pocket Infinity has low stats for both of them. So I have a theory that both the range and the stability were buffed after the 2.0 update. Because before the 2.0, I was never really able to land the shots at the distance I land now, and I love it. I'm not complaining by any means. Not to mention the December update is also going to improve fusion rifles' stats overall. Their kill times are already outrageous, but no one uses them, so no one really knows that. I mean, I hate using the word know or knows because I feel like people do know, but people don't care to try them out again, which is kind of upsetting. I mean, there are very few people who do, and that's cool to see because, if it's great to see that person win sometimes. I mean, it's not just another bad juju or conspiracy theory. It was a Pocket Infinity. I mean, isn't that just cool to know? I don't know. I feel like there's some oomph to winning a game with a gun people despise for no real reason. Alright, well, I want to move on to how this gun should be used, or utilized, I should say, in, PvP combat. You really need to stay tight around edges. Destiny maps excel in one thing: corners, levels, and walls. Things that block sight, and these are your friend. The gun requires a bit of stealth, honestly, so go behind the thing of whatever it may be, charge up, come back out, shoot, kill, and for the charge rate, I guess get comfortable with the charge time, because, that's very important. Just use the gun a lot to kind of get a feel for it, and I assure you it'll pay off. So knowing the map, using the map to your fullest advantage and getting used to the, charge time, those are 3 things that are very, very, very useful to all kind of have wrapped up in your mind. I don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, secondly, aim down near the feet because it kicks straight up when you're aiming down the sight. So just while you're firing, pull your right analog stick down slightly to make it, steady, or up if you're inverted. This will steady out the gun's shot. If you want to hip fire, I would say pull a little southeast on your right analog stick, just slightly, kind of just, you know, pull it that way, because that's where the gun kicks to the left, really. Finally, your play style. Now, I really recommend being the person who rushes close enough to not be seen, and by this I mean behind another thing, wall, corner, whatever. Just have them in your radar at least. Allow them to chuck their silly little grenades and whatnot as you laugh. Get a primary shot off to, you know, piss them off, or get them to, quote, come at you, bro, and, you know, pull out the pocket infinity and send them into infinity. Honestly, it's a mouse versus a trap game, I guess, because you just need to think of yourself as the cheese. And they want you badly. And you're too good to be true, and they fell right into your trap card. That's a Yu-Gi-Oh reference. Do you remember Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, I do too. I'm not really quite sure what I mean by that. I'm not going to force you to change your play style. Play with it however you want. That's just the best way I found it, I guess. This has been a very simple review. I talked about the setup you should probably have, some of the misconceptions I really hope go away, and how you should use this gun, which I don't like telling you how to do, because why would you trust me, right? Well, I've been using it long enough to really kind of get a really good feel for the weapon. I also do very, very good with it, and this is just my honest opinion about it. This is what I think. It's a small review because it's just a very good gun, and you really need to start playing with fusion rifles more often because they're all very equally good. Pocket Infinity happens to be a little bit better for the reasons I have explained. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed the gameplay video footage of the 2 games that I've had. It was just yesterday. And yeah, thank you very much. This is Lyndall. I'm Dylan. And Lindsay will eventually make a video with me. Just, I don't know when. I gotta stop making Pocket Infinity videos, basically. Okay, I'm done. See you later.
One final push and victory is yours. You've shown your might, Guardian. Well fought.